Hello everyone! Welcome on my YouTube video. This video might be triggering for some people because I am going to talk about food issues. I can't say the word, so I'm gonna write it. It's ED, but because I don't want to get banned, we're gonna modify the word, and instead of this, we're going to have this. So we're going to call this food issue, either food issue or 3D. So keep up with me, please keep up with me. I hope I didn't lose you. But let's go. Let's do this together. We're gonna do this together. We're gonna make this video work, okay? And I'm going to talk about this. So we're going to call this Mia. And also this that we're going to talk and say Anna. I hope I don't lose you. Please stay. Before starting, I hope you had a great week. I hope you're having a great day, that your week was full of blessing. Anyway, first of all, we're going to talk about the definition of food issues. You know what I mean? Keep up with me. Keep up with me. So, definition. Eating disorder are serious health condition that affect both your physical and mental health. This condition include problems in how you think about food, eating, weight, and shape, and in eating behavior, of course. This symptom can affect your health, your emotion, and your ability to function in important areas of your life. Eating disorder can become a long-term problem and in some cases can cause death. These behaviors can seriously affect the ability to get nutrition your body needs. Eating disorder can harm the heart, digestive system, bones, teeth, and mouth. They can lead to other diseases. They're also linked with depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and behavior. So this is not aesthetic. This is not something you make aesthetic video on TikTok about. It's not aesthetic to have a body that is going to die because of food issues. Now, my story with it, because I'm not talking about things that I didn't experience, that I can't comprehend or know what it is, okay? So I'm always gonna be true on YouTube, and I'm always true on my social media, let's be honest. I've cried so much on TikTok. So I've been born in a traumatic household. Like, my parents were alcoholic and stuff. And my mom, she had food issues, let's be honest. Like, she always been like having this mindset to be obsessed with her body. And I grew up with comments over other people's bodies and yourself being normalized. And it's not, okay? It is not normal to have this obsession with how you look and your body. This is not normal and this is not healthy. So growing up, my mom, we didn't have a good relationship, and my mom was depressed. Let's be honest, she was depressed. She was an addict. Like, nothing had come out of it. Let's be honest. That was like really toxic because, for example, me and my siblings, when we were still at the table and we didn't like some foods, or we were full and we couldn't like eat more, my mom was like, yeah, you have to eat more. So we were staying at the table for hours sometimes. She would send us to a room to finish our food, or even send us to the toilet to eat and finish our food. And of course, all the doors were open, so she could check it out if we were really eating, or throwing the food away, or giving it to the dog. And if one of these options were coming true to her, she would beat us. How to have a healthy relationship with food. So my eating habits were not really great. And it was even 10 yet at this time. And my mom, she used to tell us stories about her being young and being Anna. Keep up with me, keep up with me. Having Anna, so being so thin and so skinny, and how everyone loved her, how she had a lot of boyfriends at this time. At first, when she was a child, she was a little bit chubby and people would make fun of her because she was not skinny. And then she became skinny and people started to love her. And she was like, yeah, and now look at me. I'm so big. I'm not skinny anymore. And my life is shitty because of this and stuff. And I just want you to know that it's not because your body looks a certain way that your life looks a certain way. It's the way you see the life, how you handle life, and how you see yourself that will change everything. And that comes from a person, that comes from me, that been through hell, that been through abuse for 17 years. I've been sexually abused for 8 years, then I've been abused again, and then I've been abused by my ex again. Your life really changed when you start to see yourself in a positive way, when you start to speak to yourself a positive way, when you start to see your flaws and be like, hey, I'm beautiful, and my flaws are not flaws because it makes me harder, so they're not flaws. And my mom, she was losing and gaining weight a lot when I was like growing up because she had diabetes. I don't know how you pronounce this. I'm sorry, I don't know how you pronounce this word. She had it because she was alcoholic, and in alcohol there's a lot of sugar, so she developed diabetes. She went to the hospital a lot, and then doctors started to make obsession about her body because her weight was like gaining and then losing and then gaining a lot. But she was like, it wasn't like she was gaining and be like, yeah, she's meat. No, she was like, it was kind of like dangerous for her health, the way she was gaining a lot of weight, and she wasn't like seeming to lose in a healthy way. And so I grew up like going with her to the appointment and hearing doctors like talking about her weight and stuff. And a thing to know about my mom's is that it's not only about herself, it's about all of us, like all of her children. Like she would look at me and be like, oh, you gained a little weight, isn't it? If I was eating, she would like make comments about me eating. She would make comments about me when I'm not eating. She would make comments when I'm like asking for more food. Like we grew up with my siblings be like, yeah, you should eat at certain hour. And I'm sorry, but kids, if they want to eat, they're just going to eat. I'm sorry, they just listen to their body. It's not about my mom being like the devil, so I have to stop acting like this. I know my mom didn't mean any hate by that. I think it was just the way she grew up, and she grew up in the same environment, not the same, but kind of the same environment as me as I grew up. It's the same trauma cycle that started again and again and again. So I am trying to heal, and I'm trying to heal through God. And I want you to heal too from your trauma and realize that what you've been through is not normal, and it's not okay, and it's not right, but it wasn't your fault because you're beautiful and you're hot. Sometimes it's hard to realize that your eating behaviors are not your fault. Like it's not you having problems in your mind, but it's actually a trauma response. I started to have like eating disorder when I was around 13, I guess. Yeah, 13, 14, I started to have these food issues, but I started to have Anna. And then Mia. I used to be forbidden to go to the toilet after eating. I used to be forbidden to drink before and during dinner and lunch. Forbidden to eat when it wasn't lunch, when it wasn't breakfast, and I was forbidden to eat when it wasn't dinner that she was commenting when I was eating breakfast. She would look at me and be like, oh, you're eating a lot today. Or when I was eating lunch, she was like, when I wasn't eating lunch, that was okay. But when I was eating lunch, she was like, oh, you're eating a lot. Oh, you see, it costs a lot of money to buy food and you're eating so much food. It was just a plate. Because my mom, she would buy a lot of food for herself and we were forbidden to eat this food. Oh, and she wasn't even telling us it was her, but we had just to like ask her, and she was like, yeah, no, it's, or when it was for everyone, you should just eat a small portion and let the rest for her. The reason I was like forbidden to go to the toilet after eating was because they knew I would like purge myself, I would throw up the dinner. And the reason why I was forbidden to drink water, it was because it was like a way for me to feel full and not eat a lot of food. And when they started to, like when my mom started to notice some behavior, she started to be like, hey, no, this is forbidden from now on. This, you can't do this, you can't do that. Okay, that is hard. My food issues didn't start because I felt big. That people think that people with Anna or Mia or any kind of like food issues, they just feel like they are fat. This is not the case. Like really most of the time, like that was the case for my mom, but that wasn't the case for me. I hate saying skinny and big. I really hate these words, but I don't know how to really express myself. I don't want to offend anyone because that's not my point. The point of this video is you learning to love yourself and stop having food disorder. So I'm sorry if sometimes my words, I'm not choosing the right one, so I'm sorry. But anyway, I always knew about like skinny and stuff. I've been through so many abuse in my life. I was stolen the right to choose for myself. I was stolen the right to have consent over things. I was stolen something and I will never get these things back in my life. It was like the more I was losing, the more I became like skinnier and skinnier, the less I felt their hands all over my body. And it was like a way for me to finally choose for myself. I was having full control over when I'm eating, having the right to choose if I want to starve myself or when I want to binge. That was my way to choose for myself. That was my way to have control over my life, because I was having control over my weight. That's what I thought, because let's be honest, you'd never have control over your weight. You think that when you reach your weight goal, you're gonna stop and be happy and be at peace. It never comes true. You're never thin enough, you're never skinny enough, you're never good enough. Food issues, they are not the root of the problem. They are the consequences of the problems. Because you have a trauma that is not resolved. Anything that can be abuse in your life, bullying at school, SA, or whatever is your trauma, that is valid. No matter what is your trauma, that is valid. Don't compare your trauma to other people or the way you reacted to the same trauma as another person, because that is not the same and you are unique, okay? There's no other people like you. So you developed food issues because of a trauma that is unresolved. I thought for years that food issues was the root of the problem. So until you resolve the root, the traumatic event that happened, you will never heal from food issues. You just have to remind yourself that God describes women as gold and diamonds. So the most expensive things and the more beautiful things on earth for generation and generation, and people thought that was the most beautiful things in the world that cost many money. And God describes us as gold and diamonds. So the thought inside your head about, oh, I'm never good enough, I should starve myself, I should throw up because I'm not skinny enough, oh my god, I ate this, oh my god, I'm awful, I'm horrible, I'm so ugly, nobody will love me, I'm never going to be enough for anyone, nobody is going to ever love me, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life, I have no friends, or because I'm so ugly, because I'm not funny, because I'm not smart, I should just die and everybody will be happy because nobody loves me and I should hurt myself even more and more. And you have these thoughts coming and over and again, and these thoughts are getting worse and worse and worse. But those thoughts, they are not from God. They are not from you. They are from the enemy. Because the enemy can't listen what is happening inside your head, but he can put thoughts inside your head. And God is all over peace, kindness, joy. He is the light and not the darkness. And everything that is dark is from the enemy. And for years I was like, yeah, no, those thoughts are from me, it's from myself, I'm just like hating myself and stuff, because this is the enemy. The more you think of yourself like the worst person on the planet, like you hate yourself, the more he has power over you, to control you, to put you at your worst behavior, to put you worse into your food issues, to put worse into your anxiety, depression, everything. He will use, like, you slightly let the window open, it just came in, okay? And he was like, yeah, I know you have difficulties over this, so I'm gonna use this to destroy you. He knows your trauma. He knows you didn't actually heal from your trauma, and he will use all this against you. And I promise, the more you get closer to God, the less this thought are becoming true to you. I'm just like, sometimes just like, oh God, I'm so ugly. And I remember that God created us in his image, and God literally said we are flawless in his eyes. Our bodies are flawless in his eyes. So if I'm beautiful, so freaking pretty and hot, because God said so, God said I'm a diamond, I'm gold, and I'm flawless, why would I believe the enemy? And remember that in 1 Corinthians 10:13, it says God is faithful and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but with the temptation he will also provide the way to escape, of you may be able to enter it. God doesn't want you to suffer. He is a good and loving God. And if he sees you suffer, he will let the door open. You can take this road and follow me and be at peace, or you can continue to suffer and be at the mercy of the enemy. Sometimes the door comes as a friend, as a coworker, as a family member, as a partner, or even comes out as a therapist, a psychiatrist, a doctor, or even as an event or opportunity, or anything that is positive can be sent from God. And if you just want to be sure, you can just ask God to be sure that this is the right road to follow. When I was around 14, I went into the 3D, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, even blogs, and it's all about people talking about food issues, and they are talking about Anna tips and how to lose weight, how to lie to your friends and family, to not eat with them. There were rules to do and not do to be a part of this community, to lose weight, and you have to weight yourself every day and then take a picture and send your bodies, and they will bully you if they see no change or no radical change, and they were giving tips how to hurt yourself even more. This is so toxic. People are taking pictures of people in the street or on social media, body positivity, and be like, yeah, you shouldn't eat because look, you can look like that, or you can be like this, and you'll never be good enough, or you'll never be good enough if you eat, so you have to follow these things, and if you don't follow them, this is really toxic. And I want people to know, because this is so dangerous. I was 14, and when you lose weight, they love you. They're like, oh girl, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful. This mental illness is pushing people every year to kill themselves. Even last year, I knew how to lose 15 kilograms, 15 in a week. In less than 7 days, I was losing 15 kilograms. I could give you the tips how to lose 5 kilograms in 2 days. I was losing so much hair. I was losing hair, and I had holes on my head because of how much hair I was losing. I had teeth issues that had still not fully resolved because it cost a lot of money. I had bones issues because of how skinny I was. I couldn't go outside without freezing to death, even if it was in summer, heat waves, the temperature were really high, and I was still wearing a hoodie. And not because of the scars, because I was freezing. God said in 1 Corinthians 6:19, do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom have from God? So glorify God in your body. This is what God says about our body, and I felt guilty for years because I have scars on my body, and I mistreated my body for so many years. So I was just like, yeah, he just gave up on me like everyone else did. Remember that God created us in His image, and that He loves me, because God, He chose you, because God really looked at you and be like, the world needs you. And God knew all your life before you were even conceived, and He saw all the bad choices you will make. He saw all the sins you made, and He still be like, yeah, but I love her, I love him, so I'm gonna make them, and I'm gonna love them, even though they're going to make bad choices, even if they're not going to read their Bible, even if they're not going to go to church. I don't care, because I love them. And just thinking that God really chose me, knowing my heart, knowing all the bad choices, and still decided to make me. He is the one who will love you till the end of time. He's the one who will love you no matter what. He's the one who will love you more than anyone could ever love you. The Bible don't talk really about food issues, but that doesn't mean God doesn't care. God doesn't really care about appearance, about our bodies, because He's just like, this is not your heart, and I care about your soul and your heart. He cares about what is inside of you. At the same time, He doesn't want us to be obsessed about our body, but He knows. But He said in the Bible that we are like gold. We're all like light and diamonds, and that we are flawless, and that it shows us that we are beautiful, and he said all these good things because he knows we have to read them, we have to believe them, we have to know how he thinks about bodies. You know what? God wants us to be healthy. He wants us to be healthy, to fulfill the perfect plan he has for us. He created food for us to eat. He has a perfect plan for us, and he wants us to be healthy enough to fulfill his plan. What I did to heal from my 3D food issues. So I fell back into it in 2023, and what actually saved me, because I fell into food issues from alcohol and what really helped was the fact that in last July I went with my best friends to follow Harry Styles on tour. So we've been a month having a road trip all over Europe to follow Harry Styles on tour with my best friends, and that was amazing. That was amazing because if you don't know, I'm a big One Direction fan since 2010, and Harry Styles was from One Direction. So I was like, let's go, let's do this, my friends. And my friends, they eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They eat 3 meals per day. And at this time, I was not eating. At this time, I was not eating. I was exercising full day. When I'm saying full day, I'm not even lying. I was actually working out full days. I was watching YouTube video of fitness and stuff, and I was like working out in my room like all day. My mom was even like worried at time because she was like, this is really not normal. You shouldn't, like, you can work out but not that much. And she was like starting to help me, like trying to like be like, stop, can you stop? You should stop. And it wasn't like the only time I was like stopping was when I was at university or when I was like at work. But when I was at university, it like 1 hour walking, or like 30 minutes with the bus and tramway. But I was walking because I was like, I should exercise. So I was walking, and after work, I was finishing work at 8 p.m. and I was going for a run after that. And yeah, and even when I was in my room and it was at night, I was exercising in my room, waiting for my mom to be in her room or asleep to work out, to work out on my bed or in my room, and trying to wake up before my mom so I could work out, because she was like really worried and she was like arguing with me to stop. So I was waiting for her to not notice so I could work out. When I went on tour with my best friends, if you see this, hi, I love you. I love them. And they were like, hey, we're going to eat brunch and stuff, and that was cool because at first I was really, I've never said this to them, so you're going to find out. I was like, oh, I can't eat that much, I'm going to be so fat, and I'm just like losing control, and if I become fat, then I'm going to see the ends of the people who abuse me, and then I'm going to be like, oh god, I have no control over myself and stuff. And that was awful. That was awful. At first I had this kind of thought, but then I started to be like, girl, you're living the dreams. The 8 years old Sam would cry in her room praying to have this, that 16 years old Sam would actually pray over, and you're living the dream. You shouldn't let the trauma that is happening at home, the problems at home, ruin this. You shouldn't let the man that abused you ruin this fucking trip. I didn't let this ruin my trip, and I freaking loved it. I loved every single of this, and I was eating food, and it was amazing. The food was so good, so good. And I was even like eating. I was eating 3 times per day, and that was a lot because I was not eating. Sometimes I wasn't even eating for a week. But now I was eating food and having like fun time with it, and I didn't have anyone like commenting on me eating and stuff. And what I started to do, because when I came back, I didn't want to fall back into it, like into my eating disorder. So I decided to work out, but just once per day and not like the whole day and night. And I started to go out with my friends. At this time, we were in August and I broke up with my ex. I started to have fun with my friends. I started to see other people, flirt, having dates. And that was actually really fun because I was working out, but working out for myself. Okay, I'm sorry about what I say. It's really like TikTok trendy, that girl moment. Journaling. Journaling really helps. You have so many prompts on the internet. Prompts to hit, from shadow work to inner child trauma. You have prompts on everything. I was forcing myself to journal every single day. Like really journal every single day. And it started to help a lot because I was noticing the triggers, and I'm privileged enough to see a therapist. And if you can't see a therapist, I highly encourage you to see a therapist. But I know it's not. And also I was forcing myself to read the Bible at least once a day. Even if it was like 3 lines, I was reading it. But I started to read the Bible as it was a random book. So it started with Genesis and I was getting into it, but not really. So I highly encourage you to buy a Bible. Please buy one. But if you can't, you have actually apps on your phone, the Bible apps, or on Google, on PDF. Matthew, the book of Matthew, because it started with the beginning of Jesus. So it's really like easier. And for the skeptical people, Jesus fully existed and you have proof, and historian approved the fact that he was a real human being. So it's easier when you're not a believer to read it, and it helped. Actually, even if you're not a believer, you can read the Bible because it helped a lot of people. You can read it. When I started to watch The Chosen on Netflix and stuff, it really helped because I love having visual thing when I'm reading the Bible. And when I'm reading the Bible, it's easier when I've watched The Chosen, because The Chosen is a series about Jesus Christ. It's based on the Bible, so it's like a series about the Bible, and it's like, actually it's really good. It's really good. Pray to God to heal. I can actually ask the creator of the universe to heal me from my food issues. You can pray. You can be on your knees or not, or you can be just like that on your couch, just chilling, or in the bus, in the car, at work, at school, and just pray in your head, asking like, hey God, I know that you can hear my thoughts and you can hear me, and I don't know what to say, but I'm struggling with food issues and I would like you to help me. And you can tell him like, I don't know why I have food issues, or I know why I have food issues is because I've been through this and I don't know how to handle this, so please God help me. Or you can say, God, I don't know why I have food issues. I'm not even sure it's food issues because I didn't have been diagnosed, but I feel like it's food issues. So please help me. Please, you know what is in my heart, you know what is happening in me. So please help me, because I don't know how to say this with words. I don't even fully comprehend it. So please help me. And that works. You can actually say it out loud, just like I did. And because the devil, he can't listen to your thoughts. Only God can. The devil can put things in your head, but he can't listen to your mind. So if you want it to be only you and Jesus, that's fine. But if you want, you can say this out loud and it will burn the enemy. It feels like acid on his skin and he will cry in the fucking corner of the room. But I don't care because Jesus is on my side. I have God on my side, so I don't care. The enemy can hear me. I don't care because I have Jesus on my side. And one of my favorite verse ever, it's Luke 10:9. So I say to you, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks, receive. The one who seeks, find. And the one who knocks, the door will be open. Isn't it just incredible that you can ask God to be free from your pain? Free from the slavery of food? Like, isn't it amazing that you can ask even the wildest dream ever? Like, you can be like, hey God, I know you have the perfect plan for me. The perfect life for me is waiting in your hands. But the food and my food issues are just make me a prisoner. So please free me and help me to follow the perfect plan you have for me. Because I am willing to follow you. Even if I never read my Bible, even if I never prayed before, I am willing. And just like that. Because God doesn't ask you so much. He just asks you for you to have faith the size of a mustard seed. A mustard seed is so skinny you can actually see it with your eyes. And you know what kind of trees come out of a mustard seed? The mustard seed that is so little, so small that you can't see it with your eyes, created this kind of tree. Isn't it beautiful that Jesus, he thought of all of this? Because he made a parable about mustard seeds, knowing what kind of tree it will make. God just asks you to have faith the size of a mustard seed, so you can be skeptical. You can be like, does God really exist? But have this little bit of faith, little bit of hope, and that is the final result. I promise you that if you seek God help, if you start to see yourself a different way, and you stop following people that makes you feel bad about yourself, that you stop talking harshly about yourself. Because every time you have this kind of thoughts about yourself, being, I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, oh, I'm so annoying, and you'll be like, hey, stop. This is from the enemy, not from God. God said, I'm flawless and wonderfully made. So I'm not going to believe the enemy. I'm not going to believe I'm less worthy than another person and compare myself because my ex cheated on me. I'm not going to believe what a man said on earth, a man that is lying all the time, when God, the creator of the sun, the moon, the stars, the universe, said I'm wonderfully made, I'm beautiful, and he said it countless times on the Bible that we are wonderfully made, we are flawless, we are like gold and diamond, and we are beautiful. And God loves us the way we are. So why should I believe a man that is lying all the time? That is lying to himself? You really put your faith on a guy? Here we put our faith into Jesus' hand and be like, God, do the work. I don't like myself, so please make me love myself. I don't talk really nicely to myself, so please put the enemy away. Put all the bad thoughts away. Heal me and make me feel like I'm hot. And just like that, it happens. Before going away, if you're still here, please, I would love for you to comment this video with something I could pray over for you. And yeah, so I hope you like this video, and bye. I love you guys.